Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. Today we see the fastest way to get into the water with the new one lock system from Slingshot, and we have paired it with the Front Glide 925. There she is. Before entering the water with the Slingshot, I can only thank Ovidio from Foil News, who allowed me to carry out this test. You will also find it in your magazine. If you are not subscribed to his magazine, which is now an icon in the world of foil, what are you waiting for? Do it and take advantage of the discount code that I leave you here and in the description to get a small discount on the subscription. Subscribe to Foil News Slingshot One Lock is a really innovative system. It allows you to get into the water super fast and without too much thought. If you don't like screws, if you're afraid to tighten them too much, if you're afraid to tighten them too little. By the way, I made a video on the screws that I leave you here, and go see it if you are afraid to forget the screws. Vedete? In short, you are not calm. This system is for you. Let's face now a little what is the heart of the foil, and that is the Front Glide 925, which is the one I tried. First, I have to tell you that I was blown away by the advances of Slingshot. I was a Slingshot user with the wind foil. At the time that Slingshot had made that first foil, that turning the fuselage could be used both in wind and wing. Well, they had already been quite innovative back then and kept that line. The product is very beautiful to see. The carbon can be seen immediately, which is then cured in water. I have to be honest, it is a foil that did not disappoint me. It does not excel in anything, but it does everything in a more than dignified way. As for the materials of this front, and also a bit of the whole one lock system, because this front practically grafts into the shaft, and grafting also the stabilizer creates the hole with the fuselage and the shaft with this system that we will see later. And the carbon is a mixed carbon between high modulus and medium modulus, with crossings from 0 to 45 degrees to give the greatest possible rigidity to both the front, but also a little bit to this whole locking system, because it has to be extremely rigid with limited play almost to 0. As far as the shaft is concerned, it is also in a carbon. There are two. It is a high modulus 1-1 carbon, slightly less performing. Both, however, are very rigid shafts with a reduced section, and the same goes for the stabilizers. All in carbon, so let's talk about a full carbon kit. The shape of this front is a medium-high aspect. The measurements of this front range from 625 to 1025. We are talking about a front called Glide, so let's go a little to disturb that sector that is dedicated to downwind surfing and a very pleasant free ride, and why not also to a fairly light wind. In the range, there is also a flow that is always in the Glide chapter, but it is a little more drawn and therefore a little more suitable for downwind and pamping. While there is also a range of foils, more entry level, more free ride, with a low aspect and a little more accessible to everyone. Going back to Glide 9 and 25, we said, let's go from 6 and 25 to 1005 and 25. The 9 and 25 is a fair middle ground for a weight of about 70 kilos. The aspect ratio of these fronts ranges from 8.4 to 9. I leave you here the table with all their technical data so you can study them also, the camper, and the shape of this front is medium high. As you can see, it is also very curved. Well, this certainly guarantees us an excellent lift and an excellent low, and the tips then have a slight twist to allow you to have a little less pressure on the front foot when you try to push a little in the speed. There are 3 stabilizers available: turbo, carve, and verse. So we have 19.1, 2.0, 270 with the glide 9 and 25. The ideal use is the 180, the turbo 180. Obviously, as we said before, the construction is top-notch because they are part of that assembly. Precisely. And that rigid structure known as the one lock is notable. The carbon provides exceptional maneuverability, and while the 925 Glide doesn't have the larger aesthetic appeal I expected, its performance in maneuverability is remarkable. The stabilizer performs its function well. The Turbo 180, which has an aspect ratio of 6.4, is an agile and responsive stabilizer. It's great for quick maneuvers and pamping. The Carve 200, we have a 5.3 ratio aspect and a shape with the winglet. It is ideal for a wind and 1-1 app. The Verse 1 270 is very wide with an aspect ratio of 6.1. He's the most stable of them all. Obviously, it is what allows us to have a much simpler, much more stable gait suitable for beginners. In future discussions, let's delve into the exhilarating water sensations this setup delivers, maintaining the enjoyment factor. Time to address the concept of the one-lock mechanism. So if the time available you have is little and you really love the speed of assembly and the speed of entering the water, well, consider that you can assemble the foil in about 20 around 30 at the most. So while your wing is inflating with the pump, for example with the air bank, that we will test the new air bank, the video will come out soon. I leave you the link here. To be able to buy it with the discount code also for this stern, while you inflate the sail, your wing in 20 seconds mount the foil, and in 20 seconds or less mount your setup on the board without the use of any tools. How does it work? I usually mount the mast on the board with the 4 screws and then assemble the airplane on the mast. Well, here the concept changes a bit. You can mount your FOI entirely, and then with the quick attachment system on the board of Slingshot, you can safely insert the FOI into the board. So the procedure that I use, in my opinion, is the fastest, with this pivoted tree system, I simply attach the front using its unique cord mechanism and closure, inserting the stabilizer into the shaft. A click and the foil secures effortlessly. Astonishing. Post FOI assembly, it slid into the board crates and locked with 2 triggers. It's intriguing to observe the distinctive features. The airplane assembly process is straightforward, highly intuitive, yet remarkably functional. It works that we have a cord which is a safety for our click, for our, let's say, a tab that tightens the system inside the shaft. So you just have to pay a little attention to the adjustment of this tab, which can be pulled or not with a small washer that is in the tab then. You see a little, depending on how much effort the language makes, that needs to be corrected. As a result, I held it tight so that the click is very strong. You notice even if it is not. Which is not adjusted well, because once the foil is closed, the tab does not tighten completely, does not become one with the fuselage, but leaves some light. Well, that's not good. Then tighten it a little more, rest the part one end against the fuselage, click, and you're good to go. The foil has very minimal play. Almost 0-1 game that for a free ride like us, for what we have to do, is absolutely imperceptible. The same goes for the foil on the board. There is this very simple way, and that is to connect two guides on the shaft that come, as you can say, hook to two other T-nuts that we leave mounted on our board. Then with two shackles we can close the foil. Very nice is this system of being able to adjust the plastic of the trigger in order to place it along the water line of our board so that the drag is completely cancelled or minimal. I didn't even hear it, and I flew 20 very light. Let's talk about the foil with my feelings in the water. My setup of the day was a 95-liter inflatable Gong Midland, an RRD Wing Gold Wing 5. And the Glide 925, I came out first with light wind, then the wind increased a little, but always in the range of this front. And it is very important to talk about the range. Then let's see why then the start obviously combined with a Midland board. Because these types of front give it the best with a type of board midline or downwind. The start in light wind is excellent. Really, you have a one lift. I already tell you that this foil, for the sensations I had, is a foil that does not excel in anything, but does everything really in a more than dignified way. And when I say everything, I mean really good lift, really good glide, fun speed, and level maneuverability. I'm talking about the lift. I said that it rises very fast and very soft. So it's not as abrupt as other fronts that maybe have a slightly higher ratio and tend to throw us once lifted to throw us back into the water. This, on the other hand, is quite gradual. As far as the glide goes, it has a good glide. And it's not a super glide, but it's a glide enough to have fun. Definitely in the waves, it is a fun foil. If we talk about speed, well, I didn't push that much, but with strong wind, I pushed a little more, and I got to do about 20.3 knots, which is a very good speed. Let's remember that we are riding a screw-free foil, and therefore I would say that the system works. The drag is really minimal, otherwise I would have done 1 scene 9, 1 scene, and not 20. And I'm not a fast guy at all. The maneuverability is perhaps the best part of all, because the foil is really very maneuverable, very fun, very fast to turn, and you really have fun. Really, guys, this foil mounts in a moment. It's too nice. Come on, it's a crazy comfort. So if we are looking for stuff that is not super performance but still level, combined with this super fast and zero stress mounting system, Slingshot definitely hit the spot. And the same goes for mounting on the board, direct, fast, quick, and safe, because anyway, apart from that, it will have been tested certainly by Slingshot, but I found it really reliable, even if initially I was a little skeptical, but I changed my mind greatly. The only slightly maybe aspect that I noticed is that if above, sailed above or oversized wing below with strong wind, so I happen to use with a good wind the 925, well, maybe a bit of play is felt, but in the order of all the others for. So I don't feel like saying that this game is there and it's due to the lack of screws. No, it's a game due to have a performance foil, but not a foil dedicated to the race where you have total rigidity. Here, therefore, absolutely the tolerances are more than acceptable. Go easy and buy this foil if you want to combine the fun with the speed of assembly. The price is also good compared to other types of foil, considering precisely the study that there has been for this innovative foil closure. Furthermore, the attention to detail is excellent, both for what concerns the wing, but also for what concerns the packaging. We have beautiful covers. We have protective covers that also protect the one-lock system. The foil, guys, is very light, a bit for the lack of screws, and therefore also of the part inside the foil of the screws that is not only the physical screw, let's say the male, but also the female. So there are no threads, there is no stainless steel, aluminum, or special processing in the foil fuselage. And all this obviously goes in favor of the law. Lightness. The lightness is really a point in favor of this kit. I thank you. If you got to the end, I invite you to watch all the other video tests I do and my tutorials. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to the channel with the cost of a breakfast per month. You can access onboard tutorials dedicated to subscribers. Otherwise, subscribe to the Support Me channel with a like, comment, spam. Let me know if you too would buy the Slingshot One Lock. I would, because I really found it too comfortable, and for someone like me who has numbered minutes to go out to sea between family and work commitments, well, I definitely save time in assembly and disassembly and also in maintenance, because practically this foil is zero maintenance. Guys, I'll see you in the water, Stuart.